Hey guys, how's it going? I know it's been a while since the last video about doing the link play or whatever, but I've been working towards a project and I'm here to share it with you guys. Well, at the start of one, this was the start of my home lab. So, I only got around to doing it. That server's dead, but it's a good parts server. So it's a full APC 42U rack. Managed to get this for 175 from a guy instead of spending like 1200 on one, so immediately went and grabbed that. This is what the front side looks like. This is not all the equipment yet. I still have servers coming in and everything else. Because I have one HP ProLiant. I think it's, I don't remember what it is, like the 360p or something. I always forget what it is, but those will go down here a little ways. So, I guess we'll start from the top down. This is a Arista 7050 S64. It's a 48 port 10 gigabit switch with four 25 gig ports, and they may actually no, I believe those are 40 gig, apologies, because they're QSFP ports. And then there's going to be a brush panel, a pass-through panel here and here for the actual DAC cables to pass straight through. If you can't tell, everything is done with rack studs, because I absolutely love using them. And then here we have, above and below this switch, we have these ones are actually from Cable Matters, 24 port PoE, or not PoE, apologies. I'm trying not to say too much, but 24 port keystone panels. It's been a long day at work and it's cold out, so my brain's not working too well. So next we have here is the Arista, let's see if I can focus on it, 7010T48, and I'm glad they say it on the front because I would not remember it if it wasn't there. This is a 48 port 10 gigs or 1 gig switch, not PoE. This one's just plain. The actual PoE switches are downstairs and in the shop. Then there is four 10 gigabit backlinks. So this is actually just a single 10 gig backlink with a piece of fiber that I had, because these were going to be, this one was going to be downstairs and this one was going to be in here, but I decided to move both into here because I made it where this rack was actually upstairs in the garage instead of the shop, which is a whole nother building. So there is a 10 gig link between here to here, so that this is actually linked, and I may actually upgrade this to get a 40 gig breakout. So this will be a complete 10 gig, actually it'll be a 40 gig link between them. So there will actually be a regular, more than likely I may just run a regular Cat6 cable to bring the internet into here, but I may eventually try to move all the internet over to here. But in another video, I'll go over the full networking situation instead of what's just in this rack. So that's the general networking setup for here. I do have a 48 port 40 gigabit switch, but it's actually dead. It was $100 I got it for. What it is, I believe it's actually known for the problem. The BIOS controller in it, the clock line has a tendency to go bad on those for whatever reason. I may eventually, if I get the skills to, repair it, but if so, then there'll eventually be another switch in there, and that will probably be dropped lower because of the bigger servers, like a big massive file server for movie storage and everything else, plus clustered servers, because these four are going to be clustered. There will be three of those HP servers which are going to be clustered. They're dual Xeon E5 2450 CPUs, the version 1, not version 2, with, I believe the end goal is to have about 32 to about 40 gigs of RAM in each of them. So that's the plan. Those will be going here. Next down, we have these Dell PowerEdge 860s. And if you look at these servers, you'll note that these things are ancient. They are from like in this one, you can actually see it still has the code on there from Microsoft of the server version. And you can't see it on this one, but the other one, I believe it says like 2011 or something, or earlier than that. I think it was actually like 2007. So these servers are like almost 20 years old, but the actual purpose of them is related to this. So these are all going to be combined together. I really just need the VGA outputs. They don't need to be powerful because what they're doing is running a HomeLab cable. There's another guy, I don't know really how to properly pronounce his channel name, but it's like Caleb Retro or whatever. He did a HomeLab cable software. I'm actually redesigning it my own way because I want to run these as Python. do Python on there and actually have full, even more control from the back end, where I can just remote log in from somewhere else. And they will actually be running as basically one of these will be the main controller. These will all be set up as a Proxmox cluster, but each one will have a separate VM going to each of the VGA outputs on it. And that will be running as a cluster of, really it's going to take all the memory and CPU power it has, because these are max of 8 gigs of RAM for reference of how old they are. And you can actually see they're Pentium. They're Pentium D actually, they're even older. And each one is going to have dual, you can see one drive there, there's the other drive. It's going to have dual 1 terabyte drives, which I need to replace all of them. So these are literally just going to be running as VGA outputs that's going to be converted into a AV signal, which will then run down into these guys. This top one is actually a 12-port combiner. So this is the Blondertongue Laboratories OC series output combiner. So OC as an output combiner, this is a 12-to-1, and it is designed to be matched with this. I got both these for like less than $200, which is amazing, because normally each of these modules goes like for $25 a piece. And it had all 12, all sequentially matched from 25 up to 36. And this is a AV to RF modulator. So, and I'm actually going to unplug one of the power cables from the back of this channel 25. And so you just have to unplug the cables from the back. There's no clips or anything. These pull out. So this is what they are. You have the front, which has some adjustments to do, but these are all preset. So this one's preset at channel 25, and you can see it says it right there as well. It's actually from the factory. This is somebody else that put on there, which is just easier to see. On the side, you can see a video in, audio in, and if you look, it's mono only, which is fine. Power, and you have your RF out. So that's all it is to these. And they just slot right in there. Oops, trying to line that up. And then they just push right in, and they look amazing. I love how clean they look. And it just makes it a much cleaner setup instead of having a bunch of just single U, 1-channel RF modulators. This is 2 U's, and it does 12 channels at once of modulation with a single power supply to control everything. So, like, worst case, if this power supply died or it started getting, oh, apologies about that, I almost dropped my phone. Let's regrip that a little bit. If this power supply died or started introducing a lot of noise, I could actually just build a single U right here of a really well-filtered power supply to help regulate it. But that'll be if that power supply is even bad, but it all boots up and starts up fine. And that's all that's in here for now. So eventually I'll take parts out of that, because it's the motherboard that's dead. Everything else is fine. It's even got some RAM. If I go around this side, you can see these servers even came with all the rails. And this switch was for about $250. Oh yeah, and all 4 of these servers together I got for, the list price was $25. I paid $50 because the guy met me halfway, because he lives about an hour and a half from me. But like these servers were that price. This one was like $200, $250 with rails, both power supplies, all the fans, and complete factory reset. This switch right here was like $100, if that. And it's got the dual power supplies in it as well. They're not hot swappable, but they're dual power supplies. And then I already said what I roughly got those for. So if I come on around to the back side, this is all temporary cable management. This was basically to get a main startup, make sure things are still running good until I get an actual PDU. But right now this works. I actually had it laying around. It's like a 15 or 16 port power strip, actually designed for like lab environments or something where you have tons of outlets. And I had a bunch of cords laying around. Eventually these are actually going to be all color coded. I'm going to make the switches probably like red or something. Keep the main just servers as black. And then I'm going to get all the network cables to connect them. So you can see there's the 4 fans. In software, I'm pretty sure you can change the direction. But on this one, the way you actually change the direction of the fans is, let's see if it'll focus. You can kind of see it right there. So it actually says you will actually switch the fan 180. So you grab these fins, you pull it out, you flip this 180, and then you put it back in. And that'll cover up which side, so it'll tell you which side's doing. Flipped it over, so exhaust is out the back. So all these will be exhausting out the back. Here's the 4 servers that are next. So these are actually dual gigabit, which is nice. There's a PCIe by 4 slot in there, I believe. That's all it is. The other slot in there is a PCI X slot. Gives you another reference how old these are. Dual gigabit in, console, VGA. Actually has dual USB and then your keyboard and mouse input, PS2 inputs. So there's all 4 of those. One of these actually had a really old Dell RAID card. I removed that because I was throwing error codes. But then down here, here's your 12-port combiner. So you can see they all just kind of point to this bus, and here's your output. If you remember on the front side, there was also a coax port. That's actually, you could probably read the text, but that it said it was for output monitoring. So you can actually monitor it, which I may mount, do a table right here or something, or mount a TV in this rack. Get a rack mount that actually can do TV or do something so I can actually view the output. And then below it is the actual blonder tongue modulator. So you can see each one of these has a separate wire that comes all the way back to this connector, which goes into the power supply. So, and these are just all there. These ones actually have the coax to RCA converters on it. I need to get 3 more, I believe. But yeah, this is how everything is down in here now. So finally able to actually start my own home lab. Was kind of surprised how fast I started filling this up, but I had an accumulation of servers, so. But I think it's going to come out looking pretty good, and I'm really happy with how this is coming, so I hope you guys will enjoy the future that this should turn out to be. The next servers, these HP ones, I plan on doing, because right now my personal computer is doing Home Assistant. It's doing TwinGate, which is allows me to VPN, allows me to VPN back into my main network, so I can view my MB server, which has all my movies. And then I have, as you can tell, along with it, an MB server. All 3 of those are running on my personal computer, which I have 8 drives in there. 5 of them are 8 terabyte drives. I believe they're 8 terabyte drives. No, they're... Yeah, actually, yes, they are. I'm trying to remember how I rated it, because I rated it as, I believe it was RAID 0. They're all striped together to give me all the storage, and I actually have about 40 to 45% of it full. So once these are in there, I'm going to do all these servers are actually going to have SSD drives. My plan is to have all these drives on together as a very high availability storage, and put most of the movies on there, and all the movies that don't ever get watched enough will be put off into a more cold storage, vault storage server down here, which may actually eventually just do all the drive running, and I may just kind of structure it as needed. But there'll be basically a box that has, I think it was like one of the 32 drive boxes, and do 32 drives of all 10 terabyte drives or so, just to give me all the storage, because I am running out of storage room. So that's the plan, at least. So you can imagine from this U all the way down to probably like here is going to be full of stuff in the future, and then down lower. So hopefully within the next week or so, the other servers will be in. I'll be able to post a video of me building the servers, getting them built. But yeah, so here is the start of a home lab. And then I'll make another video showing the actual main networking setup throughout the house, give an overview of the entire system, because I just did a complete overhaul on it, and also some of the network audio systems I am running that you guys could see from the first videos and how I have them set up. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys will stay tuned or look forward to the next one and stay tuned for it. So anyways, you guys have a good night.